everyone and welcome back to my fashion cupboard baby. It has been ages since I last filmed a video for this channel, so please do accept my apologies. As any new mum will know, a baby takes over your life entirely. Every time she naps you think you might get a lot done, but in reality you're lucky if you get the bottles washed and sterilised and a baby wash on. But all joking aside, I felt that it was about time that I came back and finished off my pregnancy updates with my 39 week plus update, and also introduced you to this little one who's now actually 4 months old, which shows you just how late this video is. And her name is Elena Elizabeth, or say hello to YouTube. Hello. Okay, so let's get cracking on my 39 week plus update. So if you watched my previous updates, you will know that by now that Elena was measuring big, and so they were quite keen that I had the baby around the 40-week mark, and so I was scheduled in to get a membrane suite on the 3rd of July 2014, which was the day after my due date, so it'd be 40 weeks plus 1 day. So in week 39 we were really kind of getting close to the end, if you like. I knew the end was near. I knew that we were going to meet her really soon. So I was off work. I was off working maternity leave by now, and I was really motivated to get the nursery done. So just looking down at my notes, luckily I kept lots of notes from that week so I know how I felt and I can update you now. So I've said that the baby was moving a lot again. Yeah, by this point she was dancing in my stomach. I could feel her little legs kicking, and they were kicking in a kind of pit pat pit pat pit pat 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 motion, and her head was engaged, so I was feeling it right up here, which was fairly uncomfortable, and for that reason I was really struggling to sleep by this point, not least because I was so big that I could barely move in bed. I was sleeping in the longer in the morning, but I was tossing and turning at night, so I was really struggling to get a proper good night's sleep. I think that's probably nature's way of preparing you for the sleepless nights when the little one does come along. Yeah? Braxton Hicks, yes, so I was starting to get those false contractions, if you like, or Braxton Hicks, where your body's preparing to go into labour, and I think the first time you get it it's a little bit alarming, but it's definitely not unbearably sore, so you do know that it's not the real thing. It is annoying, however, and they did come fairly often. I was starting to get several every day by this point. Itchy skin, yeah, my stomach was getting beyond itchy, but not only there. My whole body was itchy, my skin was going dry. I think that this little one was taking all my vitamins, weren't you? Were you taking mummy's vitamins? Yes. And for that reason my skin was itchy. I was slathering on the cocoa butter and the Body Shop body butter, and it was doing its job, but I was still feeling really itchy, which was uncomfortable. My hay fever was driving me crazy. So remember, this was the end of June, and I'd actually managed to get through most of the summer to that point without having too many hay fever symptoms. But by this point I was really starting to struggle. Yeah, and I couldn't obviously take any medication because I was pregnant, so I was just grinning and bearing it, to be honest, and there was nothing much I could do about it, which was not fun. I was really motivated to keep going to get everything done. So by this point I was starting to think, okay, baby's coming really, really soon. She's going to be with us before we know it, and it's really important that we get her nursery done and make sure that we're all prepared. So I didn't feel as tired by week 39 and 40. I was definitely feeling energised and motivated despite the lack of sleep. So I think it was really that nesting, and also a little bit of adrenaline from the panic and the knowing that she was coming and that we weren't quite ready yet. So yeah, I think it was running on adrenaline, if you like. I was eating loads of fruit, so I was really craving fruit, especially berries and bananas. Oh, are you blowing raspberries? Yes, mummy was eating lots of raspberries, that's right. By this point, loads of berries and bananas. I don't know if it was the baby that was craving it, if it was all in my mind, but I was suddenly could not get enough of fruit, but that's got to be a good thing. I still go to the loo a lot, yeah, absolutely. And it still hurt to roll over again at night. So like if you saw my last update, you'll know that I was struggling to turn over in the night, and I was up to the loo countless times, around 5 to 6 times a night on average. It was getting beyond the joke, and I just definitely felt like I could only sleep for a half hour before I had to get up again, so that was pretty annoying. And I said that I kept waking up on my back. So if you're pregnant, you'll know that you're supposed to lie on your left side. That's the best for the baby, and certainly not on your back, because all of the weight can put pressure on your your main arteries, which can cause problems for both you and your baby getting enough oxygen and enough blood. So you are supposed to lay on your left side, and certainly on your side and not on your back. Certainly not on your tummy by this stage. But I kept waking up on my back. So I think that I must have been rolling over in the night, feeling uncomfortable, trying to get a comfortable position and waking up on my back. I don't know if I was waking up because I was feeling breathless on my back, or it was just a coincidence, but my husband also told me that I was snoring, and I think I was especially snoring when I was lying on my back, so that was annoying. And I said that I was preparing the nursery. Yes, so like I said, we're currently in the nursery. This is Elena's cot behind us. She's not in it yet, but she will be very soon, won't you? Yeah, she will. So we were doing all the last minute, getting the cot up, getting her wardrobes done and things, and we will put a nursery tour on very soon for you to see the final result. So that was kind of all hands on deck those last couple of weeks, and my husband took a week off as well to help make sure the nursery was ready for this little one coming along. So we got to the 2nd of July, was my due date, and I was out walking with the dog, and I met a few neighbours who said, "Oh, when are you due?" "Today." And they're like, "Get in the house." But clearly she wasn't ready for coming by herself at all. However, on the 3rd of July at 3 p.m, I had a membrane sweep, and if you don't know what a membrane sweep is, then you should probably Google it. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it definitely worked. So 3 p.m. I had the sweep, and I started getting contractions at 5 p.m, and at first I just didn't know if they were Braxton Hicks, but I did start to feel really strange, and I had cramps, and I remember googling what does labour feel like, and it coming up that it feels a lot like period cramps at the start, and that was definitely the way I was feeling. So I certainly had a feeling that I could be in labour, and I remember sending a text to my mum saying about 6 p.m. saying, "I think I might be in labour, but don't get too excited because I could be entirely wrong." However, I was right. I did not get a wink of sleep that whole night. I was up all night. I phoned the hospital. They said, "Don't come in until, you know, your contractions are a couple of minutes apart, blah, blah, blah." And I was timing them, and I was using my app on my iPhone, and they seemed to be pretty close together, but I felt as long as they were manageable that I should probably wait. I was also using the Elle's TENS machine when I was at home, and that definitely helped, so I'll do a review on that, so to give you a detailed understanding of how to use it and how it worked for me, but I think that helped me kind of wait as long as I could. So 7 a.m. the next day, the 4th of July, I went up to the hospital. I got to the stage where it was really painful. I was starting to cry, and so I went up to the hospital. My waters hadn't broken. I had lost a little bit of my mucus plug, so I had seen a bit of that come out, but not loads, a little bit of it. Went up to the hospital, and they said that I was only 2 centimetres dilated. And they sent me home, which was pretty upsetting. They sent me home with a sleeping tablet because I obviously hadn't slept all night and it could be still a while. But the midwife did say to me, "We will see you again today. You will go in, you will have your baby today." So that was exciting. So I went home, I took my tablet, and I tried to go to sleep, and I think I might have slept for about 20 minutes, my husband said, but I just kept waking up and grabbing my stomach. I was using the TENS machine still, and that was definitely getting me through because I don't know how else I could have. They told me to go home and take paracetamol, and I did. I think it did absolutely nothing, to be honest. However, it's still worth a try. But yeah, definitely didn't do anything. So that was 7 a.m. in the morning. We were sent home, and we went back about 3 p.m. I went for a bath. I went for a few baths, and I would definitely recommend going for a bath when you're in labour pain. It definitely helps. And in the bath, I lost the rest of my mucus plug. I definitely could tell because when I came out the bath to dry myself, it all came away, which was lovely. And I was getting to the stage, my husband was trying to get me to eat something. I just couldn't eat anything. He made me toast. I ate a tiny corner of it, and then I was sick. I couldn't face food at all, so I didn't eat anything that whole day. 3 p.m. we went back up to the hospital, so basically 24 hours after that membrane sweep, we back up, and they said, "Whoa, straight into the delivery room. Glad you didn't wait any longer at home." I was actually waiting. Told myself I was waiting until my waters broke, but I'm glad I didn't, because actually they had to break them for me. Because this little one wasn't ready to come, were you? She wasn't quite ready to come, so they had to break the waters for me. So I'm so glad that I just, went with my instinct and went. straight up to the hospital at 3 p.m. It was a long time after that. For me, I thought it was a long time, although speaking to people it actually was quite a fast labour. But she actually came at 21:41, so around 20 to 10 in the evening on the 4th of July. She was a little Independence Day baby, so easily remembered. And yeah, all the pain was over. So it was a hard going. I managed to avoid getting an epidural. That was one thing that I'd said in my birth plan I didn't want. I just didn't like the idea of being numb. Alright, so we had to take a pause because Elena was getting a little bit fed up in her benter. She's currently teething. So yeah, like I said, I managed to avoid getting an epidural. That was one thing in my birth plan that I didn't want. I just didn't like the idea of being numb from the waist down. That is the only reason. Of course, the idea of having no pain would have been amazing, and certainly by the time it got towards the end, I probably would have taken anything they would give me. But by that point, I was told it was too late to have anything, so I just had to grin and bear the pain. But yeah, we made it, and this little one came along, and she has been a joy ever since. So if you want to see more of Elena, and if you want to have a look up her nursery and see how she's getting on as she progresses, then make sure you don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you. Bye. Say bye bye. Bye. Bye bye. Say bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.